Welcome. We are on a theme this month about asking guidance. So when our details of our dream don't match what we expected. Bonnie asked me, what was the title of your service? I said, well, when the details don't match the dream. She goes, well, isn't that life? And I said, yeah, so that's our new title, life. So does everyone have a dream for their life? Okay. You might want to be rich, you might want to be famous, you might want to be rich and famous. You might want to just have a family where everybody loved each other and got along and supported each other. You might just want to have fun and enjoy all life has to offer. You might want to own a shop. You might want to eradicate poverty and have peace on earth. What's your dream? We have these dreams that we aspire to. How many of us are living the manifestation of our dream right now?
In some ways.
Oh, good. And so the rest of us are caught in the details, perhaps? Okay. So as a child, I had a dream, and it was not to be a minister. It was to be a forest ranger.
Wow.
A forest ranger. Because, I went, hi, Nan. I would go camping with my grandparents and loved being out in nature, and it's just, I think as a child we go through stages where we like animals better than people. Do you think? Do you think? And that's where we want to be. We want to be in nature. But when I started really thinking what was my dream, because I personally am not a dreamer. I'm a do-what-you're-told person. Okay, one step at a time. And so I started thinking about why I wanted to be a forest ranger and what was my real dream. My dream was to really feel safe in the world. My dream was to walk with some sort of idea of knowing what the heck I was doing. And my dream was to know how to respond properly or correctly. Because if I didn't, the outcome was not very favorable. And so I wanted to know how to walk and talk and be safe in the world. And so I thought, well, if I were just in the forest, I wouldn't have to walk or talk or be with anybody, so I would be safe. So how did I get here? It's a long and winding, convoluted road, just like how you got here. So think about how you all got into this seat today, or your first time at InterQuest that led you here. We have all had those long and winding roads of hurt and challenges and relationships and disappointments, blame, being some sort of victim to some circumstances or a person, the how dare they, I don't understand, uncomfortable situations, not understanding what's happening and why am I having these experiences. So very quickly, for me, I grew up in Massachusetts, went to college in Connecticut, where I met my soon-to-be ex-husband, moved to Georgia, still had aspirations of being a forest ranger when I moved to Georgia.
Oh, wow.
But I worked retail. Had a baby, met Cindy and Patrick at Unity, came to InterQuest. About a year later, I was divorced. He left. I stayed. Almost 2 years after that, I met my current husband. How do you meet someone that was from Oklahoma in the DMV line and then get married?
Yeah.
Okay? And so now we're doing life. I worked in retail. I worked as a headhunter, went to massage school, had my own business, did energy healing, So, massage, you create a safe space and nobody really talks, although I do have people that talk. And if they ask a question about muscles, I can answer with quite certainty. I know what I'm doing, or I know how to find the answer. So that was kind of working out my dream, don't you think? I was feeling safe, and I kind of knew how to talk, and I kind of knew what I was doing. I started taking metaphysics in 2000 here, and Cindy would say, well, why are you here? Why do you want to take it? And I'd say, just for me. I just want to learn. I don't want to be a minister. So then we do the New Testament. Why are you here? I just want to learn for me. I don't want to be a minister. Then we do the Aquarian Gospel. Why is everybody here? I'm just learning for me. I don't want to be a minister. Because in the ministry, you have to stand up and talk. And you got to talk about God, and that's a big subject. Why would anybody listen to me? What do I have to say? What if I said something wrong? Because I can't know everything. I'm not going to do it. In 2004, we had Donna Vole here. She did readings and did your portraits in chalk, and it was beautiful. And she said, you're going to be on TV. And I went, oh, no, I'm not. Okay, so yesterday when I was standing up teaching metaphysics class, that I've been doing since 2009, we're looking at the laws. And so I was telling them that when we're looking metaphysically, we have to look with different lenses. So, when you go to the eye doctor and they pull the thing to you and they go, okay, what do you see? And you try and read the letters. And then they go, okay, how about this one? Is this one better or is this one better? And then sometimes it's blurry and you can't see. Sometimes you don't know which one is better, this one or this one. And doesn't that kind of create some anxiety? I have to make a choice right now, and I can't tell which one looks better. Can I have another choice, please? So let's put another higher powered lens on. And then what do you see? Oh, I see an A, a G, an R, and an O. And so I know what I'm seeing in that higher powered lens, for sure, because that's what I see. And then they go, well, let's try this one. Oh, it was an O, a C, and a P, and a Q. I thought I knew what I was seeing because I saw it really clearly, like we see the details of our life. I'm seeing very clearly that this looks like a BAD. Okay? So when we ask to put higher lenses on, higher power lenses, we can now look and maybe we will see G-O-D. That vision is changing, but the chart stayed the same the whole time. And don't sometimes you try and glance at that chart, it starts with the big E. And even if we get glimpses of it, it's like, well, I think that was an RS. Okay, but that's not really serving us if we're just trying to memorize and know so that we can spit out the right answer, because it's really not helping our vision if we're walking around assuming we're seeing things. So have you been thinking about what lens you're looking through when you're looking at the details of your life? Everyone take a breath. Don't you know that Jesus' walk didn't match the Jewish vision of the Messiah? Their prophecy and dream was to have a Messiah to save them from their oppression, to save them from their enemies, to bring peace. In the Aquarian Gospel, chapter 147, he is teaching. He's in the temple, and he's with the Pharisees and the doctors of the laws, and they're saying, if you're the Messiah that the prophets said, would you just tell us? Just tell us. And Jesus said, lo, I've told you many times, but you just don't believe me. No man can do the works I have done and bring to men the truth as I have brought the truth who did not come from God. What I have done and said are witness for me. God calls, and they whose ears have been attuned to hear the heavenly voice have heard the call and have believed in me, because God testifies for me. He tells them that you cannot hear the voice of God because your ears are closed. You cannot comprehend the works because your hearts are full of self. And he goes on and tells them about themselves. He says, my Father who has given these to me, these men that are following me, is greater than you, and he and I are one. My Father who has given them to me is greater than you all, and he and I are one. Father and I are one. And then the Jews took stones to throw at him and cried, now we've heard enough. Away with him and let him be stoned. So, we go through that where we don't want to hear what somebody's telling us. And Jesus said to them, lo, I have healed your sick, have caused your blind to see, your deaf to hear, your lame to walk, and cast out unclean spirits from your friends. For which of these great works do you desire to take my life? And they said, we would not stone you for those. Those are all good. It's for your blasphemous words that you are but man and still say you are God. There's one little detail that they just didn't like because they couldn't hear it, because it didn't go against the laws and what they were seeing their whole life. And Jesus said, a prophet of your own said to the sons of men, lo, you are gods. Now hark you men, if you say to men who simply heard the word of God, why should they think that I blaspheme the name of God? Because I say I am son of God. So because he said he was son of God, they were discounting all the other things that he did. And then they wanted to stone him again, so he left, as he always did. So can't you see that he was giving them their dream? He was giving them, okay, love one another. God is within. God is your Father. He was telling them to lift, to love, to be in peace with each other. But it was a higher vision than they could handle because it didn't meet their immediate needs. So they couldn't understand it, that he was really giving them what they wanted, but they couldn't grow to it yet. And maybe we've done that to people or situations where I see value in this, but I don't like that, so I'm going to cut you out of my life, or I'm going to throw my stones at you. We have our ways of throwing stones, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So maybe there's something for us to look at in our own consciousness. If we look back, could we look at people, situations, things that we deemed as bad and put a higher powered lens on to see what were they reflecting to us? What were they helping us grow to? What was the energy behind what was really happening? So currently, when we're going through things, we kind of don't do that anymore, do they? Aren't we always asking as metaphysicians, why did this happen? What within me is causing this? What am I to do now? We go and ask for guidance and try and get a higher vision of each situation on our walk, aren't we? Yes. Okay. So, don't you think the disciples were devastated by Jesus' walk towards his death, burial, and resurrection?
Yeah.
Even though he told them what was going to happen. So Jesus was his dream, his mission to come to show man God's love, to show that God is within, to remember who you are, wake up, you're co-created children of God, you're children of God, you're loved. There were some details as he came to the earth that would be very uncomfortable for him. Like, people aren't going to like what you say, and they're going to try and stone you. And you're going to have to walk through those details. But he was aware of them. But did we ever think of the growth that Jesus did in his walk towards his death, burial, and resurrection. It was like his graduation day. It was his graduation day. He was there to heal and serve and teach the people in his immediate surroundings. And then once he ascended, he became omnipresent. He got a bigger territory. He got to be with everybody, everywhere, at the same time. And so, yay for him as he grew and expanded to help us grow and expand. So he moved through his details using love and non-resistance to fulfill his dream. And he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. In our adult Sunday school, before service here at 9:30, we are going over The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. Now, this is her complete book, but The Game of Life is very small and very easy to read, and it's full of metaphysical laws and applying them to Bible verses, and it's packed. So, under the chapter of non-resistance, she is giving an example. For example, a woman who required money and knew the spiritual law of opulence was thrown continually in a business way with a man who made her feel very poor. He talked lack and limitation, and she began to catch his poverty thoughts. So she disliked him and blamed him for her failure. She knew in order to demonstrate her supply, she must first feel that she has received a feeling of opulence, must precede its manifestation. So when we are trying to create our dream, we need to start feeling that we're receiving it, and feeling if we want to be rich, we need to feel rich, even though it might not look like we are. It dawned upon her one day that she was resisting the situation and seeing two powers instead of one. So she blessed the man and baptized the situation success. She affirmed, as there is only one power, God, this man is here for my good and my prosperity, just what he did not seem to be there for. Soon after that, she met, through this man, a woman who gave her, for her service rendered, several $1,000s. And this man moved into a distant city and faded harmoniously from her life. Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
Do you think we can do that? Can we start looking at everything that's happening as a success, that it's growing us in our dream? Make the statement, every man is a golden link in the chain of my good. Every man is a golden link in the chain of my good. For all men are God in manifestation, awaiting the opportunity given by man himself to serve the divine plan of his life. Every man, and we can say every situation, is a link to our good. Breathe. How do you feel?
Good.
So, what my dream was, to feel safe in the world, to kind of know what I was doing, to feel safe in knowing what I was doing, and to find my voice. And if I look back through my life, each of the details are there to help me grow and be. So my dream, as being a minister, is just one of the details that I'm experiencing as I continue to grow and evolve and learn greater and find my voice. Though, I'm not shaking up here, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid in life. and I love people. I don't have to be away from people. So as my dream evolves, it is now, I want to hear with higher ears, and I want to see with higher powered eyes. And I want to feel and share with a wise and understanding heart. To be in the flow of love and non-resistance in the divine plan for my life as a child of God. Is that calling forth a lot of growth? I went, really, Cheryl? Is that what you want? Because, hang on.
Yeah.
But that's what my heart said. That's what my heart said. So I don't know where that's going to lead, but I know as long as I ask and trust my guidance and act, I'll move forward in staying in the divine plan for my life, working out the dream of continually unfolding as a child of God. Everybody breathe. Do you have a higher dream for your life? Can you see that maybe what you've been dreaming is about a feeling you're trying to attain for yourself and not the end goal? So if we could start feeling and being and experiencing what we want to experience as we move through those challenges, because that's how we grow. Put on those higher powered lenses and look to see the God. Let's go within. In God, I ask that your love and light enfold this congregation and all who are listening, watching. And I ask that an individual column of light come over each person and feel that you're being held safe. And I ask that Jesus the Christ be with each of us and feel that the Christ is with you and take his hand. And lift up into this light with the Christ. And for a moment, just recall a situation, a detail of struggle, of misunderstanding, whatever pops into your mind and thought. And ask to put on those higher powered lenses that's charged with love and wisdom. And see if you can see what is truly happening and has happened for your soul's growth. Is it for your dream? And just feel that you can just send light and love and forgiveness and let it transmute to what it really was meant to be, not what you were sure it was. And just feel that energy coming back to you as you can forgive yourself, the situation. And maybe at this point, we ask that the details of my continued dream come in joy and grace, and they can be even greater than I can imagine as I focus on God and my divine plan with love and non-resistance. And just think about what you want to create now and send light ahead of your new dream and your path. And as you go, make sure you can feel that you are stepping in light, moving towards your ultimate dream, which may continue to evolve. And feel that peace that it brings you, excitement, joy, gratitude. And thank the Christ for being here with each of us. And just take a nice deep breath and just come back down. And feel your body back in the seat. Feel a quickening within of lifting of past occurrence that may have been continually to create something that you really didn't want. And just take a nice deep breath. Send your gratitude into this space. When you're ready, just open your eyes. How do you feel?
Great.
A funny thing happened. I had the opportunity to go on a girls' beach trip where the details totally matched the vision of the dream of peace and relaxation and reconnection, and went to Casadega, which is a spiritualist community in Florida, and had a reading with an astrologer who told me she wasn't psychic, she was doing astrology. Okay. And the first thing she said was, "You should be on TV." And I said, "I've been told that." And I told my friend Janet, "She's telling me I should be on TV." And I'm going, "We're on YouTube."
Yeah, it's like a TV.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not a dream of mine, but it's just part of the details that have manifested through walking in what I wanted, even though I was in resistance to it. So may you let your resistance go and allow the serendipitous surprises bless you as you're on your walk.